Genesis. And I think it's really worthwhile repeating that it says that Lot moved his tents toward Sodom. And he was still living in a tent. And it tells us that Sodom in chapter 13 was an exceedingly wicked place. I think that's a special definition of an exceedingly wicked place is important. In chapter 13, God makes an incredible promise to Abram. He says, I'm going to make your descendants as the dust of the earth. That is, I'm going to make them so many you almost can't count them. Now that's really an interesting promise because Abram's up in age, Sarai's up in age, and they have no children, and Sarai's been barren up to this point. In chapter 14, we find the kings fighting. Kings like to fight, don't they? They always want to expand their territories. And it tells us that the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah, who obviously must have been pretty wicked themselves, were fleeing from an onslaught of other kings coming in to take their territory and fell into tar pits. Seems like an appropriate way for wicked people to perish. But in chapter 14, verse 12, it tells us that the invading kings not only took all of the possessions of Sodom and Gomorrah, but they took Lot. And Abram gets word of it. And even though he has no obligation, after all, he's already given Lot the best of the land, and Lot is the one that moved from his tents on the mountain overlooking Sodom into Sodom itself, because it tells us very clearly that Lot made a move from his tents to living in the cities. And you remember I commented to you that it's a short distance from looking at wickedness to living in wickedness, to being around wickedness, to being involved with wickedness. It's a short distance. It's easy for our human nature to take over, our carnal human nature to take over and override the spiritual control that God would like us to have. In any case, Abram has to save Lot's hide. Let me say that again for you. Abram has to save Lot's hide and bail him out and all of his possessions. And he does so because God is on his side. So today I want you to think about that. I want you to think about the short distance it is from living on a mountaintop to being down in the valley in the cesspool of sin. How short a distance it is from looking at Sodom to being in Sodom. And I want you to think about the final outcome of the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah falling into tar pits, an appropriate ending for them. And I want you to think about the righteousness of Abram as he retrieves Lot, even though he had no obligation to do so. And then you realize how good God is and how all he wants for us is the best. It's not for him that he gives us rules and regulations. It's not for him that he tells us to live righteously. It's for our benefit. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.